What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be diving deep here today into a little bit of a different video than we are normally used to making, but nonetheless, it is a very, very important video and a very important issue that I challenge you guys to join us on. So, if you guys are new to the channel here today and you would like to hit that subscribe button, click that subscribe button down below and join the Team Energy family. We are always trying to spread the good vibes and positivity out there and make a change within the Golf Clash community. And that's what we're trying to do here today. Alright guys, so I just basically want to start the video off here by saying that I have been playing Golf Clash for a little over 2 years now. So I have definitely had my fair share of run-ins and issues with PlayDemic and their support team and issues within the game. So today we're actually here to talk about a more specific issue that I ran into last night that I know a ton of you guys have had issues with in the past. And this basically regards to how PlayDemic is running their tournaments and, the issues that people are having within the tournaments, and essentially how they're not doing anything about it to actually help the player if they have an issue within the game while playing the tournament. Alright guys, so I just basically want to start this off here by giving you guys just a little bit of info that you may not know. So in just 2019 alone, PlayDemic made over $225 million off of us playing Golf Clash. So that obviously raises a very good question. So why can't PlayDemic have honest, live technical support while running their tournaments that will message you back within the hour? That, it doesn't take them an entire hour or a full day to message you back. They can get the issue done within 10 to 15 minutes, and you can move on and play your tournament. But for some reason, PlayDemic has been ignorant to this issue and has tried to please the majority when there's a huge minority that has had a lot of these issues within the game, and it's about time that they start working on fixes for this stuff just as much as they're working on new changes and implements in these emojis within the game. So if you're standing with me here and you'd like to see a change within the tournament bracketing system especially, and the way that they're running these tournaments, essentially any issue that needs fixed within the Golf Clash community, I would definitely like to challenge you guys to stand with us here and help support this content and like the video, subscribe to the channel so we can get this video heard by PlayDemic so that they can actually do something about these issues. So I just want to jump over now, though, and talk a little bit about some of the opinions that I have as far as these fixes for some of these issues. Now, what kind of compelled me to make this video is I had an issue myself within the tournament last night, the Sharuba Springs 9-hole Cup. Was playing an absolutely great tournament. Out of the first 4 holes, I had dropped 3 out of 4 holes, so I was doing fairly well. And on the 5th hole, I was just about to putt my ball in, and I got a data error message, I believe it was, that said connection issue data error. And the only button that I could press was OK. So I feel like if people are having these issues, in this specific issue itself, not if you, if you get this timeout error specifically. Now, I'm not talking about if you were to just close out of the game and then let the timer run out to disconnect. That should be a completely different story, in my opinion. But if this data error message pops up on your screen while playing the tournament, in my opinion, you should either, one, be able to play that hole again, or two, they should let you continue on with your tournament. You can message support, and if you have proof, saying you were on the green, I was just about to put my ball in, I got this birdie score on the qualification. This is the same score that I got on the last hole. This is the score I would have had. They should understand that. As long as you're being honest and they can tell that and legitimize it, I believe that should not be a problem. But also saying that if we have some type of issue like that within the game, and we're messaging support, 9 times out of 10 it's because we're coming to them with a legitimate issue that we're trying to fix. So they should be honestly trying to help us, to give us the best possible experience within that tournament that they possibly can for every player, not just the majority, because I understand that they don't want people disconnecting from the game, and trying to get a better score or something like that. But if they can tell that you were on the green about to put your ball in and something happened, that's just completely unfair to give you a par or a bogey on a hole that any day on your worst day you wouldn't have ever got anything like a par or a bogey. You would have at least got a birdie or an eagle. So I just basically want to say here that we're not talking about just reconnect or disconnect issues here. We're talking specifically about the data error timeout client message that PlayDemic has called it, where the game itself just times you out of the tournament. Now, in my opinion, what should be done with this is they need to let you replay that specific hole. There is no replay of that hole if this happens. So if there is no replay and they have absolutely no idea to determine what your score was on that hole or what you've done, they have no way of giving you a legitimate score that is fair for both parties and everybody else within the tournament. If you aren't getting the score that you should have gotten, then that's not fair to everybody else within the bracket either, because honestly, they're getting an unfair advantage over you because you got shafted or this or that because of some issue, and it's basically giving them an advantage and giving you a disadvantage. So what they're essentially doing is just trying to please the majority here, when it is the majority that's having a lot of these issues individually, but because it's not a one whole big issue at one time, they're not taking it as serious. So especially having screen recorded footage, if you can show that to them like I did myself and have proof of that, they should be able to reset your hole for you so that you can play that hole again, hoping to not have that same issue. Now, if you're running into the same issue multiple times, then I could understand them saying like, hey, look, I think that you're having too much of an issue with this tournament. And then they can work with you one-on-one to help fix this issue and give you the best possible tournament experience that they possibly can. Now, talking about specifically this data error issue, this 10 times out of 10 has to do with the server and your connection to PlayDemic's server. So they know that you did not intentionally lag out of the game or disconnect yourself from the game. They know this. So I do not understand why they cannot work with us one-on-one to notice this issue and see, oh, okay, we understand you're having a legitimate issue. You just wanted a fair shake, and all you wanted to do was put your ball in and get the birdie and move on with your tournament in a fair and safe way. Let's see what we can do here to fix that. Okay, so we know that you had a connection issue on this specific hole. There is no replay of you playing this hole, so unfortunately, you're going to have to play this hole again. I know that will be a little bit more of a challenge, but, seeing as you've had this issue, here you go, here's another shot. That, in my opinion, should be exactly how it goes, and then we'll go from there. But as far as, people trying to win one over on PlayDemic or what, a lot of the community is just not like that. We like the fair and the fair play gaming. So as long as we can legitimize ourselves and they know that we're being honest and just open with them trying to fix an issue, I don't understand why they can't be the same way with us. And everybody else playing within that tournament, or whoever is in your bracket, they don't know that you've had a specific issue or anything like that within your tournament. So, in my opinion, as long as you're not coming to support, every single tournament, telling them, oh, hey, look, I had another issue with this with the same thing all the time, just telling them like, oh, hey, look, I had a connection issue on this. Oh, I had another connection issue on this one. Can you please change this, or can you please change that? They're always going to be a little bit skeptical, especially if you're repeatedly coming to them, after every tournament. But nonetheless, this is the very first time this issue has ever occurred with me. So, we're obviously coming to them with a legitimate issue that we want them to fix. And like I've said 100 times already, as long as they can legitimize that, it should be 100% fine for them to be able to work with you and fix whatever is going on, so that you have a fair shake and a fair opportunity at playing that specific hole again, or getting the score that you should have gotten within your tournament. So why is that a big issue as far as the community and them changing a score to something that you should have had? Now, I understand them not being able to change your score to something like an eagle when you're about to chip your ball, and that, they cannot prove that you would have hit a perfect ball right there and it would have went into the pin. But as far as being like a certain radius around the green, to the pin, that they should be able to calculate like, oh, okay, he got a birdie on this in the qualification, in the opening round. This is the final round here. More than likely, he would have taken the birdie. We can see that he was on the green. Or, in my case, I didn't even have a replay saying that I played hole 5. So, if there's no replay that you played the hole, then how can they determine that what actually happened within the game as far as this timeout issue goes? Because if you time out and it doesn't say that you've played the hole, how can they even push you to advance on to hole 6, not knowing what score to really give you, or just giving you a par because something happened? In my opinion, that is just very, very unfair. And we need to start pushing PlayDemic to really do something about this issue. And I also wanted to talk about the tournament bracketing system here for a minute, because in my opinion, I feel like the tournament bracketing system here needs a huge revamp as well. Now, I know a lot of these, newer players, if you got lucky and you got put into Pro 2 or Expert 2 in one of the divisions like Pro 1 or Expert 1, where it's a little bit easier and you have that competition that's, near your level, that you can still have a few errors here and there, but be able to move up, and still qualify for the weekend rounds. I feel like the Tier 3 skill levels are so saturated with so many of the community that it's almost impossible for everybody to, that is at a good skill level to really get into the weekend rounds. And that is what the community wants. The community wants to play these tournaments. They don't want to feel discouraged. And I know they're trying to protect the challenge that the game has and these tournaments come with, that's a huge thing to take pride in as far as being at those skill levels. But I think that they need to change it as far as the brackets go. I think they need to make a lot more brackets, make it so where 75% of the people qualify into the weekend round from the opening round, or, as far as the 9-hole cups go, you could make that, 75 as well. Or in my opinion, it should be 15 to 20. 5 people shouldn't qualify if, they're really the outliers. That's going to force some people to get better. But when you get to that Expert 3 skill level or that Pro 3 skill level, and you have all of these people that are competing at the same exact skill level, getting all of the same exact scores, it saturates the bracket so much that you really can't even have specific placements, because there's so many people that would be getting the exact same placement and score as everybody else. So it's very, very hard to actually give them a placement within the bracket, in my opinion, as far as how good they really would have done in their scores. But I definitely just think that we need to make some huge changes here within the JRobGolfClash game. And I think that we need to really start encouraging our community to start pushing PlayDemic to do so. There are so many games out there that have community poll sections that if they were going to implement something within the game, they would make a community poll about it so that the entire community could go into the hub section, let's say, and PlayDemic could run a poll, and we could all vote on that to whether we want them to implement certain things into the game or not, so that they could get an idea already before even implementing something into the game, whether the community would want that or not. So I think that's definitely something that we need to start thinking about and pushing PlayDemic towards doing. And we need a revamp on a lot of these rules and connection issues, and PlayDemic really needs to step up their employee base. If they're as big as they say they are, they need to be running a way more legitimate tournament bracketing system and tournaments in themselves. So I just wanted to take a minute here and thank you guys for being here. It really means a lot to me that you guys have been here and watched the video here with us today, and I really hope that you decide to join us in supporting these issues and helping us promote this content to reach PlayDemic so that it is finally heard and they do something about it. And as always, guys, happy golfing out there. Good luck. And if you've yet to hit that subscribe button, click that subscribe button down below. Click the bell, and we will definitely catch you guys in the next video. Peace.